guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is March's Plan With Me, and I weirdly feel like it's super late for me to be doing this, but it's actually kind of good for you guys because you get to see a little bit more than you sometimes get to in terms of like how many weeks I have in my journal before I actually have to set up for the next month. So let's get started. I've got, as you can see, a little sneak peek of the colors. We're gonna move those out of the way. So first off, let's take a look at February, and as always, let's start in my PROJO, since this is kind of where I start planning. So let's see, we've got stuff happening, not too much. As you can see, there are a couple of things crossed off here and there, but not very much. I need to work on that. Got a few scattered things crossed off over here. Have made some pretty good headway on sewing, which has been fantastic. And then you guys saw January. So here, I did fill in my January reflection, and this is really kind of low key. I tend, as you can see, I don't do a ton of different detail. I just sort of eyeball it basically and sort of gauge like, how do I think the month went? Then I've got February, so I'm currently filming on the 20th, which as you can see, this video is meant to go up on the 23rd, so I'm cutting it a little bit close. But as you can see, I've got my monthly filled out, and I didn't even write down, I was in Paris this weekend, so I did post a video, but I didn't actually write it down. And you can see here, I was in Paris, so I just marked out those days so that I would know why I don't have anything like project-y on those particular days, because I just hung out with friends. I didn't actually work on anything. In terms of this, honestly, not a lot of headway has been made. I have done stuff, it's just I haven't done the stuff on this list. And I think I might need to, well, first, I'm on holiday basically through the end of this month, and actually I should have written that down. So I was on holiday from Saturday through March 1st. So these are actually, I have these like 2 full weeks off. So I'm hoping to make some headway in the next like week and a couple of days on some of this stuff. But as you can see, it honestly really hasn't, it hasn't happened. Then I've got my little thing over here for work. I have done some grading and I need to do more. I also really need to get these things planned up. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the second week of my holidays. So monthly reflection will happen later. So let's take a look at weeklies. So February would have started week 5. Yes, February would have started week 5. So this was week 5, overall pretty good. Then I've got week 6 over here, and you can see I had a couple of like readjustments, so there's a little bit of whiteout on here, but honestly, like whatever. This one was, things took less time than expected, and this I think I actually had sew here, and I just made it more precise because that's what I actually sewed. And again, I have, you know, a lot of times I do all my boxes, and I just didn't use that one, so I just kind of crossed it out. Then this is last week, and you might notice that my bookmark is still on here because it is Thursday. Wait, is that right? Yes, it is Thursday, and I still have not filled in my PROJO for last week. I'll get to it. I mean, all of this stuff is in my Google Calendar, and I honestly just fill it in to have a full record on here. Like this stuff is all done, but I need to do my highlights and I need to fill in here and all of that. And that's why the bookmark is still here, because I just haven't finished it up. Then I've got this week, and as you can see, like nothing on here. I have been doing stuff on my Google Calendar, but because I didn't have initially a lot of like appointments and stuff, I actually ended up having some appointments, but they didn't get written on here. They just went directly into my Google Calendar. This is kind of what it looks like. So as you can see here, I've got a couple of things. So I'm working on filming right now, so hopefully some of this is gonna get done. I've actually reworked the videos I'm gonna film because yeah, some of the videos were gonna take a lot more effort, and I just didn't really feel like doing them today. So I picked some other videos that will be good, but take a little bit less effort in terms of like physical setup in my apartment, because I have sewing stuff everywhere. So like I needed stuff that you weren't going to see the chaos. So yeah, that's kind of how this is going. I will say, honestly, my intentions, I wrote them over here. I usually write my intentions kind of over here. And I know it's sort of redundant, but because this is what I look at sort of as I'm planning my week, this helps me when I'm setting up my time blocking and all of that. And the thing I haven't done yet is my exercise videos. I just haven't really been in the mood, I guess. I do need to go for a walk today and just do some kind of exercise, but that is going to be something to focus on for sure, you know, end of this week, next week, and specifically in March, because I did feel better when I was doing a little bit more exercise and I've just kind of fallen off the wagon. So I need to work on that. Then this is for next week, and as you can see, literally nothing is set up. This will go through the end of my holidays, so March 1st is the last day of my holidays, so I need to kind of work on that. And I might actually do a video about this so you guys can kind of see how that goes, because I never set up my weeklies on here. So that is February in my PROJO. Let's look in my bullet journal. So in here, let's zoom. There we go. So in my bullet journal, you guys have seen all of this stuff. So working on various things. Where is February? There. So February, my little cloudy month. I really have been enjoying these colors a lot. So as you can see here, I've got things kind of filled in over here. Yeah, just kind of standard. I have been working on some stuff here. So then I've got my tracker. As you can see, things are going pretty well. So any of the sideways slashes means that on that day I didn't do that thing. And I overall have been okay in terms of like getting walks in. That's doing really well. I did do a little bit of readjustment with my cleaning because I was gone on the day I normally clean, and then I find it really hard to do it in the middle of the week. Like I'm so programmed to do it on like a Saturday that it's like Saturday or bust kind of thing. So I was, you know, originally had it on this Saturday. I was like, oh, I'm traveling that day, I can't clean. So I moved it to Tuesday, and then I got home and I was like, who am I kidding? I'm not gonna do it. So I moved it to Saturday. So that's why you can see kind of erased little lines. But the good thing is I do still clean pretty regularly. So like one time like this isn't the end of the world because I'll get it in, you know, the next week. Have been working on, so projects, K is for Korean, F is for font. Down here, S is for sewing. You can see I've done a ton of sewing, not so much on the knitting side of things. I have done this. Ooh, actually, I've got, where's my pen? I did my skincare this morning, so there's that. I have to say I'm really pleased. So this was the end of when my knee was hurt, and this was actually like the first day, and I basically couldn't move. Like if I walked around too much, it got really swollen. So I watched a ton of TV like those couple of days, but otherwise I'm really pleased with how little TV I've been watching. Even when I'm sewing, I'm listening to music, and it's just been really great. I just feel really like recentered. It's been pretty awesome. So other than that, I've got my reading goals. So I've got 2.5 books read. I'm actually probably 3/4 of the way done with this one. I'm hoping to finish it before it's due back at the library. I have been doing, I don't actually have, so I don't even have the book I'm reading in Spanish on here. I am reading it. I'm about 75 pages in. I think it's like 200 pages. So I probably won't finish it this month, but I think I'm on track to finish about 4 books for this month. So that's good. Review obviously will get done later. Legend, pretty standard. I never really change that up too much because this just kind of stays the same. Then I've got my weeklies, or dailies really, because I don't do a traditional weekly in here anymore. So yeah, this, for example, I was going to clean on a Monday and realized like, no, I'm not. This was when I hurt my knee. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that on a Monday. Like, who am I kidding? So I did it on the Saturday. Yeah, things just kind of going. One of the things I did do is I did like a brain dump kind of thing of the things I wanted to do over the holidays. So I actually had just like a random scrap piece of paper that a couple of weeks ago before the holidays, like when I was planning like, okay, this is going to be a holiday that I really don't do a lot of traveling, like I'll do a weekend in Paris, but otherwise I'm going to be here. I started writing down some things that I wanted to work on. And so once I actually got to my holidays, I was like, oh, I'll just transfer that in here. So I have that. So as you can see, sewing has happened. I probably need to go through this and just make sure there isn't anything else that I need to do now that I'm kind of getting into things and working on stuff. But I've got a pretty good list, so I need to work on that. Filming is at least getting done somewhat today, so that's good. Then back to dailies. So I think because I have this week and next week in February, but I am already up to Thursday over here. And honestly, Thursday is really light because I need to finish all this stuff. Like I had a lot of stuff I was planning to do on Wednesday, and I ended up spending basically the entire day sewing. So instead of just migrating them to Thursday, I'm just gonna work on finishing all of these tasks before I move on to the next. So I think that I'll be able to get the rest of this week on here and next week on here, because I also have this. So, you know, to a certain extent, I can have sort of lighter dailies because I also have this list that I will be working from. So I think I'm going to be able to fit the end of February in here, which means let's take a look at March. So plans for March are back here. Let's see, somewhere in my end book. There we go. So these are my plans for March. Honestly, nothing super crazy as usual. I've got this. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me posting about this mustard double gauze tank top that I made, and I have been like really feeling this color lately. So I picked kind of a mustardy yellow as one of my base colors, and I was like, okay, this is kind of like dark spring blooms sort of thing. Like, who even knows? I just invent stuff. So I have 026 is the mustard color, and then I got this one that's kind of like a sagey-ish green, and it is 158. And then because I like to have a thin marker for filling in some stuff and whatever, I just chose this kind of teal one, but I think it looks a little bit more like a Kelly green when you write it down. So I was like, it works. It's close enough, but I wanted it to be kind of in the color family. So these are going to be my colors. I think I'm also going to switch back to a black pen because I've been using a gray gel pen as my daily writer for the last like 2 months. Yeah, January and February, I used this one. So I'm going to switch back to my kind of real daily writer, the one I use when I'm not writing in gray. So this is the UNIBALL Signo in a 0.28. Now the one downside, I can't actually check. So the one thing I'm kind of worried about is with some of these pens that I really like, I only have one. And as you see, I've got very little ink left. So I will definitely be changing to a different everyday writer during the month because I will just straight up run out of ink. I do like this pen though. I need to write it down so I remember to get more. See, I wonder, is this the kind of pen that I could just buy an ink cartridge? That would be interesting to find out because I really like this pen and how it writes. Yeah, anyway, side note. So I've got my quote. I decided to go for a spring quote, which I think I typically do change of season rather than following the month. I tend to go with the season change. So I found this quote by A.A. Milne. She turned to the sunlight and shook her yellow head and whispered to her neighbor, "Winter is dead." And I thought it was like kind of harsh, but like perfect for the change of season. So I just went with that one. Then I've got my notes down here. So March is 31 days. I also wrote down, I don't usually do this, I wrote down that Sunday is the 1st. So the first day of the month falls on a Sunday. So when I'm doing my days of the week, I don't have to look at my calendar because I've already got that written down. I'm going to keep the same intentions. And I apologize if you hear that noise. That is renovations that are happening on an apartment, like the one building over and down a couple of floors, and it's just like, I don't know if it's a buzzsaw or what, but it is super loud, so I apologize. Anyway, intentions are staying the same, tracker is staying the same, PROJO is staying the same. I might rethink how I actually do these, but I'm kind of keeping the general things because they're all still currently relevant, so why change them? So as always, I will go ahead and set up in my PROJO first because that is like the super fast, easy thing to do. And then I will show you guys in here and come back at the end and we'll chat about how it all went. So let's go ahead and look at how everything went. So as always in my PROJO, things are pretty standard. So I just drew in my lines for the weeks for YouTube. I wrote in the headers for my key projects, and I also wrote in the headers for the key projects for my monthly reflection, and that is basically all I do in my PROJO to set up for the next month. Then in here, actually flipped right to the page. So you guys might have seen that I am still using my journal as sort of a rest for this section because I'm still like not quite at the point where I'm comfortable kind of pushing the spine flat. And it might be that I'm being a little too careful and I could just go ahead and do it, but I'd like to make this last as long as possible since it is a handbound notebook and I'm not really sure how it's gonna hold up. So this is my quote. I have to say I kind of love how this turned out. I think it looks really, really cool. I am a little bit bummed when I actually started writing more with this STAEDTLER fineliner. It is definitely more teal than I thought it was, but like it's fine. So I just have my monthly over here because it is a 31-day month. I don't have very much space for the upcoming month, but again, I usually am okay without having much more space than that. I have my intentions and I'm going to leave them blank for right now until I kind of decide at the end of this month what I'm going to really focus on for March. Then I have my little tracker all through here and you can really see the teal on here, but honestly, I don't think it looks bad. It's just not quite the color that I wanted. So this is exactly the same as before. I did kind of take out one thing on here. I just have this like BG background noise. I just decided that wasn't actually a thing that I really needed to know, so I just took it out. And then I have my reading tracker over here and my reviews. So as always, I just put 4 books in here and we'll see if I actually meet that. So that is my monthly setup in here. As always, it'll be dailies up next, but I'm not going to do that quite yet because I still have a little bit of room, or I still have a little bit of time left rather in February. So I will be finishing up in here first. So that is all I've got for my monthly plan with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm so in love with this color scheme. I think it's really cool. Kind of dark, but still kind of springy. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below. Also, keep an eye out for a video explaining my intentions a little bit more in the future because I feel like it's probably about time that I sort of explain them a little bit more. So that'll come soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!